Dear brothers and sisters in Pan-Africanism, good morning or good evening, depends where you are on earth. Please receive our brotherhood greetings wherever you are on earth. It is always a pleasure for us to reach you out there and to share our views about Africa and about things in the world that can benefit Africa. Camarade Kalafo, leader of the Pan-Africanist movement against the colonial French currency. Yes, 2023, 15 countries still in Africa are using the colonial currency called franc CFA, the only colonial currency still in use in the world. They don't have say in their monetary policies. Those countries been forced back then by De Gaulle to use this currency, and it's been implemented officially since the 25 December 1945. Today, I'm here after sharing our views in Bambara and in French about the historic events that happened last week. I mean, the inauguration of the new development of the countries called the BRICS. So I'm really delighted today to share our joy and to congratulate those countries for the milestone achievements, because it's come like a great achievement in order to put up there a bipolarization of the world. As you all know, that we do have the institutions that finance the development in countries like developing countries. And we call them the institutions of Bretton Woods. I mean, the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. But as you know, our countries have been using funds from those two institutions far as I know since before I was born. And yet we're lacking in a development in our countries. Those institutions gave us money, borrow us money with high interest. It doesn't stop there. They want to teach us how to use the fund we borrow from them. I recall back then in my teenager age in Mali that they come up with a plan called adjustment plan, structural adjustment plan, that plug our economies, push our governments to anticipate the retirement of thousands, like millions of workers. It didn't stop there. They push us toward the closure of thousands of national companies in Africa. So it doesn't even stop there. And in the name of the views of the West about of the human rights, sometimes they even want to push us to implement laws that are against our beliefs, like homosexuality. It's a come to say the truth. And we really welcome that new banks, because today, countries on earth, the developing countries, have a choice to go where to get their money to speed up the developments of the countries. You have to take a note that the 25 December 1945 was the day that De Gaulle, French president at that time, officialized the currency called franc CFA. And that happened just before he joined. He ratified the treaty to join the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. So all those countries using the currency called franc CFA have been added to those two institutions of Bretton Woods by de Gaulle, because back then those countries were colonized by the French. This is the truth. And among all those countries, only Mali had a time. From those 14 countries plus Comoros, only Mali had a time back then to leave the group and to create the Malian currency, Maliwari. Modibo Keita, the first president of Mali, did that. And then when he passed away back then, Moussa Traoré had put Mali back in the currency called the franc CFA. So only Mali was among those 15 countries that left and came back. It's really damaging what we call France Afrique. It's really damaging in our economies and in terms of democratic process and in terms of even human rights. Because France has been always supporting dictators in Africa who don't give shit about the respect of what's so-called the human right, but they're still there in the power. You know them. There are many on the land called Africa. So when we talk like that, we want to reach out of the Francophone zone. We want to reach countries like Ghana, like Nigeria, like Sierra Leone, like Liberia, like all the English-speaking countries in West Africa, the countries among the ECOWAS. Because worth to remember you that it's the process of creating a unique currency in ECOWAS is been there for nearly 48 years, and we still don't have unique currency in West Africa. Currency, they speed up the last 5 years and we got a name, and everything has been postponed now because of the COVID, and now because of the war in Ukraine, the inflation, and it might never happen. But when we see things like that, the inauguration of the new development bank, it gives us hope, and we want to really boost the ego of our leaders back there in Africa, in West Africa, to speed up and to create this unique currency, which will end the colonial French currency. We all know that even that project is been plagued, is been spied by the Ivory Coast President Ado with Emmanuel Macron when they come up with a photocopy of the ECO. And until now, we didn't see any color ever from that plug, a copy of the ECO or the ECO of ECOWAS. Brothers and sisters, it's time to say the truth. To be honest with you, I can tell you that this currency called franc CFA will never take our countries anywhere in a war. In a war stage, we need to have our own currency. We need to be able to master our own currency. What they call planche à billets, we need that to speed up our development. We can't keep going that way. America is printing money as they wish to develop America. Same in Europe, they're all printing money, who are putting up there the guarantee for their money. But for us, we're closing our eyes and we're watching. We don't want to fight to get out this monkey system that has been implemented first time by the Nazis, by Hitler when he took over France. And France could not say thanks enough to Africans. The tirailleurs Senegalese, when they left Africa, come die for France. And at the end of the World War II, as I said before, 25 December 1945, that was the gift for them. The officialization of the CFA, 25 December. But we're not surprised, because they are the one who shoot down, who murder the tirailleurs back then in First War, when they came back in Africa and claimed just their salary, they got shot and killed. Until today, France never apologized for that mass murder. Here, the talk is not to say that we have a fight against the French. We don't build up, we don't nourish any fight against the French. But the truth is, we are deeply against the policies, the international policies built up by the French, different French governments toward Africa. We are against the policies that are used by French in Africa. We are deeply against, because it goes, those policies go against all the morals at all the levels in terms of developing our countries. Our country's been independent since in 1960. Go to Niger. France is taking all the uranium of Niger. Nigerians, they don't have electricity. But the central nuclear stations in France use the uranium from Niger. But Niger, even the capital city, Niamey, doesn't have light. How can you understand that? The connection between France and Africa, especially the former colonies, is never been a fair deal for us. This is the truth. And now they're running over any side, left, right, west, south, north, east, calling the Russians all the names. Russians never been involved in slavery. They never kidnapped our brothers. They never kidnapped our ancestors and sell in a boat to our America. Russia never did that. For us, it's very clear. The new generation of Africans is very clear. We can't be submitted never to Russia, never to Europe, never to America. As I said, we want to make a pathway for Africa to be the greatest nation on earth. So, Africa is gonna reach by 2050, in terms of population, 1,900,000,000. Depend which statistic you visit. And which is really, Africa will be the biggest market on earth, the land of opportunities. And it doesn't stop there. All those population is made majority by young people, Africa is the continent of the future. After slavery, after colonization, and after the bullshit of the France-Afrique, and after all the lies, all the complotist theories, Africa is going to be the greatest on earth. No one can stop that. So today, we are here, we're standing proudly toward the United Nations of Africa. Our generation will make it, because we don't take bullshit. So, to resume what I have said, we are very delighted, and we congratulate the countries that call BRICS. And today, there are even a lot of countries that want to join the BRICS: Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Algeria. So the bipolarization of the world has never been so materialized. So we're really thankful toward the BRICS to bring that hope in humanity. And we said it loudly. We said it loudly. So this is something that's a need to push our ego in West Africa to speed up and to create the unique currency, or to have a summit to talk how we're gonna live with the French currency, if that need to be the way. Because let me stress it out that 14 countries plus Comoros are still using the French currency. All right. So when we start this fight against the colonial French currency, our intention, our aim was to take it out all those countries and build up a currency that belong to 15 countries, a currency that all the other countries in Africa could join in later. But it's worth to say that even so, CFA is used in West Africa, UEMOA zone, and you have another zone in Central Africa called CEMAC. We don't use the same currency. It's all called franc CFA, but we don't use it. If you travel from Congo, you go to Bamako, Mali, you can't use the currency from that part of Africa. It's the same CFA, but you have to exchange in order to buy something. You have to exchange and come back to get the Malian CFA. The same thing, if you left Niger, you go to Central Africa, it's same thing, same story. So the French colonial currency, it's even against what we call integration. It's against integration in Africa. So why we should close our eyes and not do anything about it? We need to be integrated. We need to have in Africa just one passport. I'm sick of seeing visas between countries in Africa. It doesn't make sense. It has to stop. When it comes to African Union, they have to step up, build roads, facilitate the transportation of goods between African countries, goods and humans. And they have to stop these visa things. It has to end in Africa. There is no need for it. When you're gonna be in 2050, in over 27 years, the biggest market on earth, you have to have a mindset to build that. That's why we want our generation to take over the power everywhere in Africa. The old generation, they did what they could. We're not gonna insult them. They did what they could, but it's time for them to pass the crown to the young generation. They have the strength, they have the intellectual capacity to take Africa forward, to make this continent the greatest continent on earth. It is already. Sometimes when I hear people saying Africa is that, Africa is cursed, I say bullshit. Africa is not cursed. God himself is not happy with Africans. Why? Because he gave us everything. All the natural resources he gave us. Dig down the land of Africa. It's full of everything, all the resources we have it. Congo, you got rain there, you got a fertile soil there. The Nile, Niger River, Congo River, the Zambezi, Senegal River. Bro, we got everything. So we're not cursed at all. We just need to stand up as one and build our continent. We have to step up and all the African diaspora need to join the effort to develop Africa. Because always remember, my friend black dude, wherever you are on earth, always remember this. If you look like me, you got that complexion, you get it? What they call in the West, exotic, is it? That's what they call us. Yeah. Exotic skin. These people. All right? So, until Africa is developed, you're not gonna get any respect. Make a billions, be successful, be whatever great on earth. People look Africa first and judge you and give you the respect or not. That's the truth. So to wrap up everything, we are here standing against the colonial French currency, and we're gonna shut down. And to our brothers in West Africa, English-speaking countries, and everywhere in the world, all the diaspora, we have to fight to have a currency, a unique currency in Africa. We have to work toward the United Nation of Africa. It's very, very important for the future, our own future, and the future of our offspring. We have to work hard for the new generation. We can't fail. Talk to you soon. Bye.